Guards, lock the gates. They've been arrested.
All right, welcome, kings and queens. You know what? Y'all got jokes. A lot of you have jokes, and we're going to talk about it. But first, let me tell you what we're talking about today. On yesterday, I released part two of my recap summary review regarding Little Scrappy's interview with Carlos King. And honey, I must have triggered some folks because some of y'all were in the comments and y'all were going off. I got people saying goodbye, good day. I am not going to follow you, all of that good stuff. But you know what? I'm a big girl. I can take it because that's small to a giant. And I know exactly the reason why I do my commentary. And guess what? Sometimes I'm not going to agree with you. I got hate mail. I got it coming from every which way. But like I said, I have my opinion of things, and it may not necessarily always align with what you think and what you believe, and that's okay. That's okay. But what I don't or do not understand is for people to drop by in the comments to say, hey, I'm leaving. That's like me driving by a store, parking my car, using my gas, getting out to go in and say, I'm not going to purchase your merchandise because I don't like your product. You know what? If I don't like the product, I keep it moving. But some of you were kind enough to say, listen, Bambi actually did an interview with Amanda Seals. Give us your take on that. And guess what? I am going to do that today. So let's get started. Let's jump in. That was a very thoughtful challenge. And that's how you shift the paradigm, y'all. When you come in and say, okay, this is one side of the story. Give us your take on that. So let's talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
Overall, I thought it was a very, very good interview. Um, they weren't too far off with what they were saying about each other. When you listen to Scrappy's interview and then you listen to Bambi's interview, the thing that we have to figure out, both of them are pointing the finger at each other, but saying the same things, but accusing each other of being guilty of the behaviors, said behaviors. I thought it was a really good interview. Bambi seems to be very calm, and she gave a little bit of background that the reason why she carries herself in such a calm manner and what appears to be a nonchalant manner is because of childhood trauma. And we may touch on a little bit of that later on in my recap. But, honey, they jumped right into the interview, and Bambi said, listen, this was a quick divorce. I filed for divorce in November, and in June, it was finalized. She said it was swift. She wanted it done, so much so that she did not contest the arrangements and the divorce decree because she wanted out. She wanted out. Now, she did not give specifics on the arrangements between herself and Scrappy, but she did say one of the things that caught her off guard that she did not give a lot of thought to prior to the divorce is having to share her kids. And I don't know if they have a 7-day on or a 7-day off arrangement. My brain just naturally went there. She said that was hard for her as a mother, but guess what? She pushed through and told herself it's going to be okay. You got to not care. Your goal is to be free and rid yourself of this nuisance. And Scrappy, I don't know. You said it was a nightmare on Bam Street, and she's claiming that it was a nightmare on Scrap Street. So, y'all, what do you think? Who was the nightmare? Was it Bam Street or was it a nightmare on Scrap Street? What are your thoughts? All right. So there's another. I mean, I was just tickled to death. A great interview. She said it was a dog fight. Literally being married to Little Scrappy was like being in a dog fight when it came to him and Mama D. And that post divorce, they are making it extremely difficult for her to move on in peace. Pause on that. She said, in peace. We're done. Finito. You wanted to play in the marriage. You didn't want to respect your vows. I caught you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Guess what? There's not going to be a second time. I want a divorce. She said prior to her filing for divorce, there had been no signs of cheating. She would not have been able to tell you or me that her husband was cheating because there were really no clues to cheating. Now, Bambi, my thing is this. He said that you would send him random pictures of women saying, "Who is this?" And that you gone through his phone, his text messages. Now, Bambi did say she went through his phone, but only twice while they've been married. Okay. And the second time was enough for her to file for divorce. So, what made you go through his phone the first time? Right? If you felt like he was a doting, loving husband, is it just woman's intuition? Hey, let me just do a post check, make sure we still good. And then what made you send him the picture? It's not saying that it's wrong or right. I just want to know. Because if you've never had any proclivities of him cheating before, was that enough? For some women, it is. That's just my question. Okay. Was that enough? It would have been for me. And I do not believe that women should have to suffer so hard for love. I do not believe it. You cheat, you're out. But some women are more generous with their hearts. Are you a generous woman when it comes to your heart? Are you or have you been guilty of giving men time after time after time after time to get it right? How many times does it take for you to actually walk away? For Bambi, it was once. Bambi said, yeah. She said, when you see me on television, the editing, the way I'm presented is as if I am a bitter, hurt woman that needs to move on and heal. And she said, oftentimes when I hear these comments and they come in through social media, she said, I'm like, wait a minute, I am healed. I am working with a therapist. I thought I was healed. So what are y'all seeing that's different than what I think I'm displaying? And as a result, that's how she came to give this interview with Amanda. Okay. Now, she starts off and she gives us a little bit of background about how she came to be attracted to Little Scrappy and what really drew her in. And she talked about his personality and his tenderness. She said what attracted her the most to him is that he appeared to be kind. He appeared to be extremely kind with women. Y'all, I don't know, Bambi. Every time I see Little Scrappy on television, he's going off. Probably the kindest and the most calm I've seen him. And I just from me, my observation was in his interview with Carlos. But she said her experience initially was completely different with him. He was kind. He seemed to have he seemed to be able to draw people in. And also he seemed to need a little bit of guidance and protection when it came to setting boundaries. But after having dealt with him for a while, she said, you know what? This Negro don't want no boundaries. He liked the drama. He likes the mess. Now, y'all, this is not my opinion yet. I'll tell you when I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm giving you and I'm paraphrasing her interview, what she's sharing. So she said after a while, after she started watching and got to know him a little bit, she's like, wait a minute, this nigga thrive on drama. It ain't that he's kind. He needs this to thrive, okay? He don't want these people out of his life. As a matter of fact, the door is wide open for them to come right on in. And some of these same folks that have talked crazy about him and that he's pillow talking with me about, some of these same folks he's using to come against me, to talk about me like a dog on this show. Now that we've revamped the Love and Hip Hop show, now he got Erica, he got his mama, he got Diamond, all of them, y'all. The same ones that he tried to make me believe were coming at him for no reason. What are your thoughts, you all? What are your thoughts? So then they move on, and she said the final straw for her, woo, is when he cheated with Diamond. Let's get into it. So Scrappy is denying having anything with Diamond. But I'm going to roll with Bambi on this one because a woman knows. A woman knows when she gets into those text messages and she looks at those DMs, we know. And she said he cheated with Diamond. And honey, I'm done. She said she believes the timestamp is they rekindled what they had on the Millennial Tour. And y'all remember in his interview with Carlos, Scrappy had a lot of energy. He had a lot of feelings and emotions about that Millennial Tour and how Bambi called it old and this and this and this. I don't know if he was gearing himself up to cheat, but he had a lot of energy towards that millennial tour and a lot of resentment and seemed like hurt feelings about how she didn't react to him being on tour. And Bambi's response to that in her interview was, listen, I got 3 kids at home. I can't sit here and get excited about you being on stage when I got a little one that's sick. So you're talking about your reality being in front of the lights, camera, and action. And my reality is I'm at home taking care of children. And I'm sorry if that to you, sir, this is like me paraphrasing, means that I don't love you and you're not getting what you need. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. So she said he took it upon himself to rekindle his romance with Diamond. She went through his phone because she said she felt some in her spirit and her intuition. Something just did not sit right with her, how he was interacting with Diamond and how he was behaving. In her opinion, he was chasing his youth, his lost moments. And she said that he lives for validation. He lives for praise and worship, for people to praise and worship him, and he will die, literally, if he doesn't get the attention that he needs. Mind, body, and spirit, honey, that this man has to have attention. You know what? That makes sense to me considering how he grew up with the lack of true affection from his mother. They did not bond. He and Mama D did not bond the way a mother and a child should bond when it comes to being in a healthy relationship. He did not have a healthy attachment. That attachment was not formed to his mother, right? And in his younger years. And as a result, as a man, he needs a lot of attention, and that's not normal, you all. And I'll get to the part where she said she did try to give him that when she first started dating him. Now, she led on to say a bulk of his need when it comes to affection and attention is because what I just said, he was emotionally starved as a child. Now, here's the thing. Most time, most times, ladies, listen to this very carefully. A man doesn't start chasing these things in the beginning. He will get you comfortable in a relationship, in the courtship, in the marriage. 5, 6, 7 years later, he decides he needs more. Some call it a midlife crisis. I don't think he's at an age to have a midlife crisis because um, technically most midlife crises occur between ages 45 to 55. He's a little bit younger. However, adverse childhood experiences could speed up the process of somebody younger having a midlife crisis, right? Depending on how much trauma you've endured as a child. So that's perfectly fitting that he would be chasing all of these things after he's gotten a wife, after he's gotten a home, after he's gotten the 3 babies. Now, you know what? I think I need a little bit more outside the home. And that's what she feels like she was up against. What are your thoughts? Because he's claiming that she was chasing fame, big, spectacular moments, but she didn't want it for him. According to him, she wanted it for herself. Should they have ever been married in the first place, in your opinion? Okay. It's very interesting. It's very interesting, but I'm sharing her part just like I shared his part. But anywho, she said the next day after seeing that, what she saw in those text messages and those DMs, she filed for divorce. She filed for divorce. And that was that. And he feels some kind of way because let me ask you this. Is it asinine of Lil Scrappy to expect her to stay after she feels like she saw what she saw that confirmed or validated that he was cheating on her? He said, man, I had one strike and I'm out. She didn't give me a second opportunity or a third, and she walked away. Bambi said 3 months prior to filing for divorce, she and Scrappy were actually in couples therapy because she needed a place to establish a safe zone to be able to talk and open up to her husband about how she was feeling and things that she felt like would improve the marriage. And she said for a while, they were doing wonderful. He was doing a great job, right? While in couples therapy. But on the flip side of that, he had a hard time receiving her in a soft manner. It was hard for him to let her be a lady and rest in her feminine and communicate in a feminine, safe way to him as a man. And he would become somewhat disruptive to try to, what is it? The word I'm trying, get her riled up to match his energy. And she found that very, very interesting and ironic. Here it is. I'm trying to be all things that most men would want. Come at you very soft, very feminine, as a wife should, respectful, and you're having a hissy fit because you don't want that. You want me to pop off. I just find that ironic, right? When we think about the world of the manosphere and how they say, some men say they want traditional women, but yet her experience was, I'm trying to be traditional. I'm at home with the kids. I'm not trying to go toe to toe with you on matching your money, matching your energy, matching your masculine stance. But yet you trying to push me out of my feminine so that you can put me in a masculine situation. Do y'all believe it? Do you believe that he was trying to attempt to antagonize her to be able to better disrespect, to be able to not better, but to be able to disrespect her and yet have another complaint against her? I feel like I said it before, they both have similar accusations of blaming each other for being the problem. Now, Bambi said initially in the relationship, when she dated Little Scrappy, she coddled him. And that was the foundation of the relationship from the beginning. I believe you, Bambi. I believe you did coddle him, but I think you got caught up and I think you created a situation that did not work in your favor. You made Scrappy your son initially. And I think, Bambi, you came in. I don't think you're innocent. I think you manipulated the situation. I think you became his mother and you gave him everything that he needed from his mother, right? And he came to rely on that, y'all, even after she had her own sons. Scrappy was your son. Scrappy, if you're listening, you were her son and you continue to want to be her son after she had her own sons to look after. I don't think you were ever her husband. I don't think you were ever her boyfriend. If you go back and listen to his testament and his account of the relationship, he said, "Man, she was bringing me Black and Miles and Popeyes and dropping food off. Yeah, like a mother does for a son." The only difference is you weren't at school, you were in rehab. You were enrolled in a rehabilitation program. So she was treating you like a son, sir. You were never a husband. You were never a man in her life. And that's not me talking shit. That's the reality of it, right? I'm going to say some things that are just direct. That's factual. Um, and some of you may get your feelings hurt, So when you send me those emails, I don't care. I'm not here to coddle you. I am here to give you the raw deal. And hopefully it'll save somebody from having some messed up as toxic ass relationships. I think if we get to the meat and the heart of the problem, most times than not, and we stop sugarcoating what's really going on in these Black communities, we wouldn't have so many single parent households. What are we at? 64% of African American households are driven by single Black women? Yeah, there's a problem. And I'm going to talk about it, even if it pissed some people off. So, yeah, Scrappy, you never stood up. You never stood up. As her husband, as her boyfriend. Bambi, I blame you for moving forward to a long term relationship, a marriage, expecting him to be different. Bambi, we got to keep it real because that's what we do over here in the palace. You seduced him by overloading him with love and affection in the beginning. You listened to him. You heard everything he told you that he did not receive. Y'all, I'm gonna be fair now. I gotta be fair. And I know some of y'all, well, you gonna talk about Bambi. Yes. Not every woman is right because she's a woman. Not every man is wrong because he's a man. There is 50-50 responsibility of this between the two of them. Bambi, you seduced the man. You listened to him. He played a little game. Oh, no woman was good. No woman was good enough for me. None of them gave me this or none of them. And you gave him everything he said that he needs in order to be a great man. In my opinion, you love bombed him. So both of y'all are at fault. You both started with unrealistic expectations. Now, Bambi did give the man credit where credit is due. He didn't do that for her, but she did for him. In his interview, he ain't really had too much to say about her, except she's a beautiful woman. Other than that, Scrappy, I don't remember you saying anything nice about Bambi. She said he did try in a home. He did help with the kids in a home. Okay. She admitted that he didn't want a divorce. So she was upfront and honest about what he did do and what he did do well. And I like the fact that she chose healthy to be healthy outside of being toxic. She did not want to continue to engage in a toxic marriage. Okay. And she said she wants the best for him. It just ain't with her. And you know what? I can rock with that. I don't want to be married for the sake of being married because a lot of women are doing that. I don't want to be married so it looks good on the outside while I'm dying and crumbling on the inside. I don't want to be married to a man. And I'm giving y'all paraphrasing the interview. I don't want to be married to a man that come and goes as he pleases, pays rent and mortgage as he pleases, and dare not me to challenge him about his interactions and or his engagement with women. That doesn't make me feel good as a wife. That doesn't make me feel good as a mother. As a result, I pulled the plug. No more marriage. Divorce it is. I gotta walk away in order to save myself. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, y'all? And now let's just say, let's flip it real quick. What are your thoughts? I commend her for doing that. But would we commend a man that walked away? Had Scrappy been the one to walk away and say, you know what? I can't do this with you. Take those, you know what? I'm sorry. The 3 kids are going to leave with you. I'll get them 7 days on. You get them 7 days off. Will we have the same feelings and emotions if a man were to walk away from his family? Bambi said something that completely blew my mind that made me just pause. And I said, that's deep. Not only is it deep, it's honorable and it's respectful. She said after she filed for divorce, she fasted. She minimized her access to social media. That means she stopped allowing negative things to come in, right? On social media. She didn't need to see what he was doing or saying. She fasted. She ate fruits and vegetables. She eliminated meat from her diet. She eliminated alcohol from her diet because she needed to be clear. She needed to be in her right state of mind about the journey that she was about to take on. I thought that was powerful. I thought that was straight laced. I said, wow, preparation, y'all. Preparation breeds success. This girl was preparing for her new life. And in order to do so, you've got to remove yourself from things, people, places, foods that you would normally go to for comfort, right? To satisfy your palate. She says away. She done away. She got rid of all of that. And she needed to stand in the midst of her pain. She needed to stand in the midst of her thoughts. And she was not going to engage in anything that wasn't productive. Okay. She said they did split the bills 50-50, but at one point, and sometimes throughout the marriage, she was not able to hold up her end as a mom. That's correct. He said that. Now, he didn't show us the receipts, but he showed the receipts to Carlos King. He said, you can see here, these are times she wasn't able to do it. That's why I don't believe in 50-50. No woman, in my opinion, should ever enter a relationship where you're splitting things 50-50. And not because women make less money or men make more. It's just out of order to me. It's not conducive to a healthy relationship. Where's the protection? Where's the provision? Where's he providing? If we go on 50-50, then who gets the big piece of chicken? Who's the man? Because it's not you. If we're 50-50, you have 50-50, in my opinion, only benefits the man, especially if you are giving him the gift of life by way of children. especially if you are giving him a gift of sweetness by way of your body. And then to top it off, you go out in the workplace and you're working and you're bringing home money and he wants 50% of it to go towards the bill to lighten his load, and you're cooking and you're cleaning. Y'all, that is not a winning situation for anyone but the man. And my question is, how did we get here? Why are women signing up for that? And that did not work. Their income was not the same. And as a result, the lease was terminated due to a history of late payments. She did confirm she dated Benzino a few months. She said she didn't sleep with him. Okay. She said that she regrets the moment with Kirk in the hot tub. Didn't look good. Um, not a good look for her now that she looks back on it. But she did say this. Here's a discrepancy. She said she was single when she was in that hot tub, that she was a single woman. Scrappy says otherwise, Bambi. He said that y'all were dating. And during this time, that you were bringing him food and all of that. Now, I do think you was a side chick to Scrappy while he was engaged to Erica. So she's saying she was single. Scrappy said, you was my woman. So what do y'all think? All right, so let's wrap it up. What it came down to, she really gave a very detailed, calm, very detailed and calmed interview. Calm, I'm sorry, interview. The door is closed. I love the fact that she's a woman that made up her mind when she was done with the relationship. I'm not going back to dib and dab. I don't care who he's dating. I don't care who he's seeing. None of my business. Take care of my kids. And that's the way it is. And that's the way it should be. I hate the fact that she's having to sue Mama D, but she says, you will not play with me and my age. Now, my thing to you, Bambi, is what could you have done differently in the marriage? Because you and Scrappy are kind of looking like you're both leaving each other, holding the bag and blaming each other. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? What are your thoughts on all of this? She said one thing she did gain from the divorce or in the divorce is a calm nervous system. Calmness, sereneness, peace was not present in her marriage to Lil Scrappy. She said she used to be rocky. Well, he was rocky. He was always on edge. She never knew what she would wake up to. And it's funny because he says the same thing, right? They both are claiming the same thing against each other. She said she healed alone. She did her work. She didn't try to fight the emotions that she was feeling. And if she needed to cry, she cried, no matter if her kids were around or not. She allowed herself the time, the space, and the opportunity to process her emotions. And while she was going through it then, it gave her a head start after the divorce was finalized. She's currently in therapy, and she discovered that in therapy, she's codependent. She's codependent. She said she often feels like she has to overextend herself to people. She has to overgive when it comes to people. And she believes she formed that habit, which is a learned behavior, as a child. Now, here's where it got tricky for me. Both she and Amanda claim to have this codependent um, behavior of overextending themselves to each other. And Bambi asked Amanda, do you think you do it? Or could it be possible that we do this because we're good looking women and we had to downplay our beauty when we were younger girls? So we showed up or we went the extra mile so that other people around us wouldn't feel like we thought we were all that. And then Amanda chimed in and Amanda said, yeah, also the light skin thing too, the whole component of being a light skinned woman. I was following up until that point. Because here's the thing, I think it's automatically assumed by many light skinned or lighter women that you're not going to be liked because of the tone of your skin. And also that you are presumed to be beautiful. And that's not necessarily the case. Let me say this. There are many various arrays of beautiful shades of black within our race. So many. I mean, so many. Different undertones and hues of yellow and red and all of that beautiful stuff, right? But let's keep it real, y'all. Not every dark-skinned girl is jealous of a lighter-skinned woman. That is false. That's a false narrative, and not every light-skinned woman is beautiful. So how do we come up with that? I mean, I think yeah, okay. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a deeper conversation. I would love to explore that from light skin and darker skinned women. Like, as a light skinned woman, do you see yourself as better looking automatically because of the texture and the tone of your skin? Which means to me, you know what? Let me stay on task. But I want to talk about that a little bit later in a different conversation. Amanda really threw me off towards the end. And I'm not sure where you were trying to go with this, but towards the end, Amanda said, "Hey, listen, did you know I used to mess with Scrappy?" And Bambi was like, "No." What was the point of telling her that you used to mess with Scrappy publicly? I didn't get that. I didn't get that. Maybe y'all can help me out. But anywho, that's all I got for this interview between Amanda Seales and Bambi. I thought it was very good, very insightful. And there you have it. One half of the story from Scrappy, the other half from Bambi.